Gemar Chatima Tova. You totally can do better than that. Gemar Chatima Tova. If I'm going to work to get you guys sealed in the book of life, give me some back. In 2017, just 7 short years ago, on this very bima, I asked you a question. I asked, what does it mean to be a Jew today? My then answer is on my website, paulkipnes.com. Back then, the air felt calmer. Anti-Semitism was a whisper, not a roar. Israel was admired, not attacked. Jewish identity was lighter to carry. But in 2025, the question cuts sharper because hatred has grown louder, because Israel is embattled and vilified, because anti-Semitism has exploded. And even some of our own feel uncomfortable and embarrassed to be Jewish. Think about that. Even some of our own feel embarrassed to be Jewish. So I ask again, what does it mean to be Jewish today when the world tells you, don't be? Let's not pretend. It hurts. It hurts to see swastikas painted in neighborhoods. It hurts to hear classmates or colleagues question our people's very right to exist. It hurts to scroll through feeds seeing Jew hatred reposted like it's entertainment. And it hurts even more when we start to shrink from our Judaism, when we start to doubt, when we wonder if maybe it would be easier to stay quiet, to downplay, to disappear. Why be a Jew today? That's the question we've been forced to ask ourselves again and again over the centuries, for thousands of years. So let me name aloud what weighs on so many of our hearts. The war with Hamas and with those who seek Israel's destruction, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Iran, to name a few, is heartbreaking. The plight of the Palestinians in Gaza, especially the children, is heartbreaking. The continued captivity of 48 Israeli hostages, perhaps up to 20 of them still alive, is excruciatingly heartbreaking. And even as we hope and pray that the principles for peace presented by the president, already accepted by Israel and supported by most of the Arab world, will be accepted also by Hamas, still, we might be heartbroken because what hatred has wrought in our world. It is possible, it is necessary to accept all these truths at once, to affirm Israel's right and need to defend her people from terror, and to free the hostages that the world has forgotten or would like to forget, and at the same time to let our hearts ache for the innocent lives caught in the crossfire. This is not weakness, it is Judaism. It is Torah reminding us that every human being is created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. It is our prophets who cried, do not grow numb to suffering, even when it is not our own. I know. Some of you will say my words are too soft. Others of you will say my words are too harsh. That's how I know I am in the Jewish place, where compassion and covenant meet, where we can love Israel fiercely and still refuse to let our humanity harden. To be a Jew today is complicated. To be a Jew today is crucial. To be a Jew today is courageous. It may be more crucial now than ever. To be a Jew today is to embody hope in a hopeless time. To be a Jew today is to carry a mission more than 3,000 years old. And remember, it matters here and now. Because when the world witnesses oppression and shirks its responsibility, Judaism retells the story of Passover, that liberation is possible, that no Pharaoh exists forever. Because Judaism roots us in memory. And every Passover, we remind ourselves that we were slaves in Egypt. So we must never tolerate the persecution of others. And because when the world tells us to fear others, Torah commands us more than 36 times, Ve'ahavtem et hager ki gerim hayitem be'eretz Mitzrayim, to love the stranger, insisting we remember when we ourselves were treated as strangers, when we were thrown out of land after land after land, pushed to the margins, stripped of rights, stereotyped as different, told again and again, you do not belong. Small laws became walls, walls became expulsions, and still we Jews carried the memory, turning exile into empathy, loss into love. And because when the world insists we throw up our hands and let darkness drown out the light, we tell the story of Hanukkah, where one small flame became many, where hope multiplied against the odds. And Judaism does even more. When the world wants to feed us easy answers, Judaism insists we ask difficult questions, that we wrestle with Torah, that we argue with God. For Jews, doubting and questioning is not weakness. It is holy. Because questions open doors to dialogue, and dialogue draws us closer to each other and to God. And when Judaism wants us to ignore tyranny, when the world wants us to ignore tyranny, Judaism demands justice. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof, the Torah states. Justice, justice you shall pursue. Why mention tzedek not once but twice? Because Judaism requires that we pursue justice, knowing it will never be easy, but it will always be necessary. Pursue justice for yourself and justice for me, for those we know and those we don't know, justice for our people and justice for everyone else also. When the world wants us to give up, Judaism reminds us we are a people of vision and values, a community that carries Torah's teachings through time. We offer unique wisdom and witness to the world. We are called to state unequivocally, we can do better, the world can be better. Because Judaism teaches Olam Chesed Yibaneh, the world is built on kindness. And because Judy Friedman of blessed memory taught us, live with kindness, lead with kindness, build with kindness. And yes, when the world says you are broken from birth, Judaism says no. You were born into blessing in the image of the divine. We've talked about this before. In Hebrew, there is no word for hopelessness, because Judaism insists we always dream of a messianic future, an end to war and famine, violence and hate, when the lion shall lie down with the lamb, and when all people shall come together as one. This is not a burden. It's a blessing. This is not a problem. It's a promise. But let's be honest. It's also complicated. Jewish identity is layered and messy. Israel inspires and frustrates. Our people bring pride and provoke questions. Yes, it's complicated. Judaism is both the story we have inherited and the sacred calling we are called to embody. It is the memory we preserve and the meaning we create. It is survival and it is also renewal. So when all is said and done, this is what remains. To be a Jew today is to bring blessing into a broken world, or at least to try, again and again and again. That's why the shofar is not one sound, but many. It is tekiyah, strong and whole, a call to conscience. It's shavarim, broken, like the heartbreak we carry in this difficult time. It is Truah, urgent, like the cries of Jews everywhere who yearn for safety and dignity. And it is Tekiah Gedolah, the great long note that reminds us that all hope is not lost. On this Yom Kippur, may the sound of the shofar carry us toward courage and compassion, toward connection, toward pride. For to be a Jew today in all its complexity, all its courage, all its compassion is exactly what the world needs now. So rise up. Rise up from despair. Rise up with hope. Rise up toward renewal. Yes, everyone, rise, please rise, and hear the sound of the shofar calling you home. Tekiah Gedolah.
Adonai